Yo, what's up? Ain't Got It Yet podcast, episode 77. I'm Michael Flix. The Don and J Mitch are not here. Felt like Joe Budden. Dion, you are in breach of your contract. I'm just playing. No, but yes, I am here solo. My guy Dion is busy tonight. We actually planned to record tonight, having the gang all here, but I guess we got our signals crossed. And Dion, I mistyped a message, and Dion, I guess, misread a message. So he's not here tonight. And unfortunately, J Mitch is no longer going to be with the podcast. He's doing fine, no health reasons or anything like that, but just J Mitch has just got his own words. He's got a few things in life that he needs to deal with, and it's affecting his ability to be committed to the podcast week to week. So he has to step away. So with those two things going on, it's just Flix, man. I'm here by myself, and I'm not mad about it. I was a little disappointed I can't have my guys with me because, my idea of podcasting is having dope conversations. But it is what it is. What's funny? Just over the weekend, actually last week when we weren't able to record, I told myself, I was like, you know what? Next week, regardless of what happens, if it's just me and one of the other guys, if somebody can't make it, I'm still podding, bro. I love to podcast. I love coming in, getting mic'd up, setting up the cams, and getting my takes off and speaking to different points and having dope conversations. I really, really very much enjoy it. I love it. And not being able to do it over the last few weeks, last few months really, has really been frustrating. But, I've had to, money was calling, honestly. I was getting booked left and right. It's basketball season, so I was getting booked nonstop. So I had to go out and feed my kids and make my money. So I'm happy about that. But it was taking me away from podcasting, which I don't like. But like I said, I told myself over the weekend, and I even put it in my story today, my Instagram story, no more breaks from podcasting. I'm taking no more breaks. And it's funny enough, it's funny how life works. I even told my mom today, I was like, even if I got to go in there and just talk by myself, I'm podding, bro. I'm not letting nothing stop me no more. This is a passion of mine. It's something that I've already decided to make a career of, and it's something that I want to be one of the main things one of my main sources of income. So, that is a goal of mine. That's not why I do it. It is a goal of mine. I do it because I love it, like I just spoke to. But, I'm just happy to be back, man. I'm happy to be back. We were filming in Escondido for a little bit, and we're not in Escondido anymore. The most recent episode we filmed in North Park at Zoe's house. Y'all remember Zoe? She's been on camera quite a few times, and she's been helping us behind the scenes for a while. Actually, speaking of that, Zoe is no longer with the podcast either. She is very busy. She's working a couple jobs, just very busy, and so just not able to be committed to the podcast anymore, which is fine. I understand that everybody's got a life going on, and if this podcast isn't, giving what you need on a financial level, then, you got to go, you got to do what you got to do. And I'm okay with that. I understand that. But like I said, my network and this show will be to a point where that's not an issue for people. So, I'm not tripping about it. I understand what it is. But I'm just happy to be back, man. I'm just happy to be back. It's been a minute. I'm sorry. I was speaking to where we've been filming at. We're in North Park at Zoe's house. Filmed a few episodes there. And after she told me she was going to have to step away from the podcast, I knew we're going to be right here at Flix Media. You know what I'm saying? Right back here at Flix Media Studios. And I'm loving that. I love being in my studio, man. I love being in here. Only reason I hadn't been in here really is because I live in Escondido now, and my studio is in Mission Valley. And just, being so busy. And then a friend of mine opened a studio, a content space in Escondido, and was gracious enough to let me come in there for the the rates and the reasons that he let me come in. And so we was rocking the Escondido. That was with the white background. That's just all we had. The was it like a brown or tan color couch? That was up in Escondido. So I'm back at Flix Media Studios, and I'm happy about it, man. I'm gonna be back in here a lot. Actually, I'm finna get the sports show back going. On the Michael Flix is coming back for sure. So I'm just I'm happy to be back recording, man. I'm excited. I'm happy to be back recording. I'm happy to come in here and get some takes off, even though I'll be doing it by myself. I'm happy, man. I'm happy. I got no complaints. I'm happy to be back recording. Slight disappointment that I'm doing it by myself, but I'm also excited about that opportunity. You know what I mean? The last time I filmed and recorded by myself was, I think, 2000. So like almost about 5 years ago now. and I was on an internet radio show. And I did that, and I was excited about it, and I haven't done it since. So, this is my opportunity to just get better. You know what I mean? I've been used to having conversations, and I'm a broadcaster, so I should be able to do the job by myself, even though it's not ideal. And I'm up for the challenge, man. It is going to be a challenge, but I'm up for it, and I'm here. And I appreciate y'all tapping back in. I appreciate all the people asking me where the podcast has been, what's up with the recording. Everybody that's been tapping in, asking to be a guest on the show. As you can see, we've been dealing with a lot, so I haven't been able to book anyone as a guest. But, I'm happy, man. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be back in here, man. So, with that said, other than basketball season and just filming a lot of games, I just been busy, working, hanging out with my kids. I've been really trying to be more conscious about being present with my kids. I think I'm a great dad, and I think my kids would say I'm a great dad. Their mom, my co-parent, says I'm a great dad, and so I know I'm a great dad, but just there are times when I'm in the room with my kids physically, but I'm not in the room with them mentally. Well, I'll be, on my phone scrolling, admittedly, but most of the time, I got the laptop open and I'm editing, and I'll take breaks from that and go to play with them and hang out with them. But, for the last, I want to say month and a half to 2 months, maybe even a little longer than that, I've been making a real conscious effort to just be in the room with my kids. Like when we get home from school, I'm just with them. I don't open my laptop. I try my best not to open my laptop, and I'm just with them, whether we outside riding bikes, going to the park, reading a book, sitting down playing with dinosaurs, or out on the patio jumping on their trampoline. Like I've been trying to be real intentional about just being present with my kids. So, that's really what I've been up to, man. Just working and being a dad. Really, that's really all I'm ever up to. Just working and being a dad. I had the third. I just had my showcase that was just over the weekend on Saturday on the 22nd. It was a real success. The third annual Flix vs. Full-Time Showcase. The captain of my team was J.J. Sanchez from Montgomery. Captain of the full-time team was Isaiah Marte from San Diego High. We had it was a pretty good turnout. Admittedly, not the turnout that I was hoping for and expecting, but that's life. Things happen. I dropped the ball a little bit with just communicating with certain people. But overall, the showcase was a success. The 3-point shootout was exciting. A shout out, Isaiah Marte won the 3-point shootout. He probably is the best shooter in San Diego and probably one of the best in California. But I want to give a shout out to Devin McGee from El Camino High School. This dude, in the first round of the 3-point shootout at the Flix vs. Full-Time Showcase, this dude hit 22 out of 26 threes. That was the most anybody hit in any round. And then in his second round, we're in a high school gym. He's a corner shooter. He chose to shoot from the corner. And he was shooting in the corner, and the wall behind him, there's big walls and big windows, and the sun came out. And so he's shooting against the sun, and it caused him to miss a few. He did still advance to the championship and had to shoot head-to-head against Isaiah, and he lost. So I'm not saying the sun is the reason why he lost. He went head-to-head, the sun wasn't an issue, and he lost. So Isaiah is the champ. But I did want to shout out Devin McGee from El Camino hitting 22 out of 26 threes. That's crazy. And I didn't know you could shoot like that, bro. After he was like, I'm a corner shooter. Not a lot of people know that. I'm like, well doggone it, they going to know it now. They're going to know it now. Shout out my guy, Devin McGee. And shout out to everybody that was either a participant in the 3-point shootout or a participant in the actual All-Star game at the showcase. It was a good turnout, a dope event. I had 2 vendors there. Just Love Hoops, Just Love Hustle. I appreciate y'all. That was dope. Start of what I believe is going to be a really, really dope partnership. So that was dope. And my guy, Dedicated Hoopers, he was out there too selling his merch. They're both gracious, and got to make a few sales, and it was just a dope event all the way around. It was just a dope event. I see for next year and moving forward the tweaks that I got to make, the changes that I got to make, the things that I need to implement, the things that I no longer need to do. So, and just like with anything, it's going to get better with time. It's going to get better each and every year that I do it. So I was happy. I was happy about the showcase. That was this was the third time we've done it, and this was the most nervous I've ever been going into it. just because, I mean, every year is going to be at a different gym, but just because, I shouldn't speak to that reason. But just, for a practice got scheduled and a few kids dropped out. This year, as opposed to the 2 years prior, the ticket sales on the website were moving much slower than they had before. And so, for those two reasons mainly, I was like, on the day of, like waking up, I was like, "Ooh, I don't know what the showcase is going to look like." But I woke up, I checked the website, a bunch more tickets have been purchased, and even leading up to, more tickets were purchased on the website, and then a lot of people showed up and purchased tickets at the door. So the turnout was pretty good. Like I said, in the event as a whole was just it was a success. It was a success. And shout out to my guy Full Time Hoops being a part of the event with me. My friend, the Heather Experience, for sponsoring with all the things she did behind the scenes, as well as being the photographer, the official photographer for the event. Like I said, my two vendors that came out, all the photographers that came out and got content, all the players that participated, the parents that came out and watched, and just the fans of basketball that didn't have anybody on the court that they knew, that just wanted to come out and see some good basketball. So thank you so much to everybody that came out and watched. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And at any time, anybody that I mentioned, if you ever need anything from me, just tap in and let me know. And any of y'all, if y'all are doing anything, I see everything. If you got something going on, y'all already know I'm going to be there. Y'all know Flix supports it all, man. So just let me know and I'm going to be there. I think that's it as far as like what I've been up to and the things I got coming up. It's not it. I designed some new hats. I should have one on right now. I should have a couple on the table like normal. But I designed some new hats, some new Flix hats. I believe it's gonna be. I got green, brown, and what's my other color? White. Green, brown, and white coming. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Y'all go see me wearing them on the show, so no need to be a lookout. But I'm doing a photo shoot for, to put the official release of the new hats and everything out. So y'all be on the lookout for that, man. Other than that, man, I just had a few topics I wanted to get into. Y'all know me. Sometimes I got like random questions or topics that I just pull out of the wind, and then other times it's like things that are going on like in society and things like that. One thing that's going on right now in society, I mean, clearly everybody knows I'm a big basketball. I cover basketball, I watch basketball. I'm a big basketball fan. Bronny James, man. Bronny James just dropped, what was it, 34? It was either 34 or 41. I don't know why those are the numbers in my head right now. But Bronny James just had a big show. You know what? Let's talk about what he did in the NBA first. So against the Milwaukee Bucks, Bronny James had 17 points against a title contender. Now, granted, the Lakers got blown out. They did get blown out. But Bronny got in while the game was still a game. Like a lot of time, like players in his position, they get in garbage minutes, which is understandable. But he got in the thick of things against Giannis and one of the best teams in the East. And he had 17 points. And I think it was about 37 minutes, about 5 assists, couple steals. Bronny James, before our eyes, I was about to say is becoming a legit NBA player, but a part of me feels like he always was. He just didn't have the confidence. Like he isn't much smarter of a basketball player now than he was when the season started. His passing hasn't evolved to the level where it's like, oh, I can see the difference now. You know what I mean? So I think he's always been this player. It just, he hadn't unlocked the confidence part of it yet. And then playing in the G League, dunking on people, dropping 20 here, 25 there, 30 here. You know what I'm saying? Having these big showings, it kind of, in your own mind, it shows you like, you know what? I'm good. Like, I'm sure he already believed he was good enough to be there. But then once you have a showing like that, where you stand out, you lead all scorers, you're the best player on the floor in a professional setting, that boosts your confidence. It's going to make you feel like, you know what? I do belong here. Yeah, my dad may have gotten me here, but yes, I do belong here. And I know that from the beginning. And so now I have the confidence to go out on the floor and show everybody that I do belong to be here. And so I'm just happy about that, man. I think it's dope. I think it's super dope. I'm happy for Bronny James. I'm happy for LeBron. I'm happy for the whole family. I just think it's dope. I support anything like that, whether it's, I'm going to talk about LeVar in a second, but whether it's LeVar Ball or whether it's, LeBron James or even with D-Wade, what he did with his son Zaire Wade, when I believe D Wade is a co-owner or like a small minority owner of the Utah Jazz, and he got his son on the Jazz G League team. Is it nepotism? Yes. Who cares? Who cares? Because we see what LeBron's nepotism, what LeBron's, I feel they need to put air quotes around it now, but there's no air quotes needed. What LeBron's nepotism did for his son got him on the team, and now he's flourishing and essentially showing everyone what LeBron and Bronny already believe, which is that he belongs in the NBA. He deserves to be a professional, and he belongs in the NBA. So I'm just happy about it, man. I'm just happy. I wanted to just come in here and talk about that because although Jay Mitch isn't going to be on the show anymore, we've had a lot of criticism, not really so much from me, but it's been on this show. So I wanted, as the host of this show, to come back on this show and just give Bronny his props and just, he's been killing. He been doing what he's supposed to do. And so, just big up to Bronny, man. I can't wait to see what keeps happening. What I just thought about right now is I doubt it will happen. But I think it will be dope when the Lakers go to the playoffs, if he's able to get some minutes in the playoffs and really show, show what he can do in a playoff setting. Because I think if he has like a 12-point outing in a playoff game and they win, whether they win or lose, if he has 12 points in a playoff game in the thick of things, not garbage minutes, in the thick of things, then I feel like at that point there's nothing left to be said. Because in the NBA, playoff basketball is the highest level. You know what I mean? Grant, the NBA Finals, they take it up another notch. But the NBA Finals the NBA playoffs, it's more intense. There's more focus on this certain team because I'm watching film. I'm playing you for 4 to 7 games. So if he's able to go out in a playoff game and have an impressive setting, I feel like there will be nothing left for anyone to say about Bronny James or anything that he's doing on the NBA level. So I'm just happy to see it keep going. If I were LeBron, I would have done the same thing for my son. I was about to say I wouldn't have, and we're going to get into the Stephen A thing a little bit here now. I would have, at first I was saying I didn't agree with LeBron stepping to Stephen A the way he did at Staples Center. I believe it was against the Knicks. But I heard a take today that I agreed with. And the take was that Stephen A's thing was, he was on First Take and he said, LeBron, as a father, stop this. And then the take was, it was like, bro, you're not quite, your job is to discuss and analyze basketball. You said, as a father, stop this. That's questioning my fathering. That's questioning me as a father and the job that I'm doing as a father and the way I'm leading and guiding my son. That's not basketball. You said, as a father, stop this. And all LeBron has done as a father is made his son's dreams come true. Whenever they've asked Bronny about what his dream is and what he's wanted, he said, it wasn't my dream to play with my dad. That was something that my dad said, and it became a thing. All he said was, all I want is to hear my name called. If LeBron doesn't do what he does to get Bronny drafted, I don't know if there's a guarantee that Bronny hears his name called. Now, at this point, he has proven that he is good enough to be for sure in the G League and to be on the end of a bench on the end of a bench of an NBA team. But he's proven it. At this point, he has proven it. I'm sorry, I got off. I'm going to get back to the Stephen A thing. Stephen A said, as a father, stop this. My initial take was, well, it's his job to analyze the game and talk about everything that happens within the game. Bronny is a part of the game now. And so at first I was like, yeah, LeBron is wrong for that. And Stephen A is just doing his job. And I do still believe that Stephen A was doing his job. I don't think he went beyond the scope of being an NBA analyst and analyzing the game. He gets paid to do that. He gets paid more handsomely than most people, darn near everybody, to do what he does. And rightfully so. Stephen A is the man. So I do think even in saying, as a father, stop this, because he was saying stop what we're seeing from your son on the court and all that. So he wasn't saying like, oh, LeBron, like your son is, skateboarding and he shouldn't. LeBron stopped this. So you're like, whatever. He was talking basketball, NBA basketball, which he's paid to cover. So I don't think Stephen A. was wrong in how he went about that topic and covering LeBron and Bronny. I don't think he was wrong. But now, after hearing that take, what I heard today, I do agree with that. If I'm LeBron and I hear, as a father, stop this, I would feel away. I would feel away, and I'd probably step to the person that said that. But, though, when LeBron stepped to him, he didn't say, "You're questioning my fatherhood." He said, "You're effing with my son." And again, I agree with Stephen A. on that point where he was like, "Bro, no, I wasn't. I was talking about you. I've never mentioned, I mentioned your son in regards to what the position that you've put him in. So I'm saying you should take him out of this position and let him play in the G League." I guess I feel both sides. I guess that's what I'm saying here. I guess I feel both sides. Look, Stephen A. had every right to say what he said in the manner that he said it in regard to what he was talking about. And LeBron had every right to feel how he felt and then press Stephen A. about it. So, I mean, this is what it is. I would have done it too. Honestly, if I were LeBron, I would have stepped to Stephen A. too. I would have. Speaking of basketball, we're going to keep with basketball news. The news came out, Juju Watkins, torn ACL. That, I've never seen an athlete suffer an injury and felt and wanted to shed a tear for them. Like, I seen like Kyrie just tore his ACL and it was like, dang, that sucks. Been a Laker fan all my life. When Kobe, the Achilles, it was like, dang, the Mamba down. Like, so, like D Rose, you couldn't tell me anything about D Rose when he tore his ACL when he was league MVP. I was a T-Mac fan back in the day. Like, basically what I'm saying is I've been a sports fan all my life, and some of my favorite players have suffered big injuries, and I was just upset. Like, dang, like, on top of not being able to see you play anymore, it's just like, dang, that sucks. Like, the thing that you love to do, the thing that you get paid to do, the thing that you're chasing the championship, and you don't get to do any of those things anymore. I feel all those things about Juju. But I don't know what it, like, something about, like, I do, maybe this is why. I do feel like Juju has an opportunity, and this doesn't hinder that, but I do feel like Juju has an opportunity to go down as the GOAT of women's basketball. And I also think it's ironic and dope that the person that I currently consider the GOAT of women's basketball is Cheryl Miller, the older sister of Reggie Miller. If you're not familiar with what she never got a chance to play in the WNBA because by the time she was done playing, the WNBA hadn't been created yet. But had she played in the WNBA, she would have dominated it. She would have set records that would have been darn near impossible to beat. Cheryl Miller is the GOAT of women's basketball. There's no debate about that if you're asking me, and a lot of people, I think. And she went to USC. That's why I brought that up. And now Juju is at USC, and I do think that Juju has the opportunity to go down as the GOAT of women's basketball. And although this torn ACL doesn't get in the way of that, she still has a very bright future in college, both in the pros. But it was just devastating to hear that news, man. That was devastating. I saw that. I was like, man, that sucks. Like, I was honestly thinking that she was gonna come out of college this year. But I was talking to my brother about it. He was like, nah, bro, I don't think she was about to come out. And I'm like, I mean, who knows? Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, for a player like Juju, the Caitlin Clarks and the my bad. And the Angel Reese's of the world. I didn't want to move on without saying her name. I blanked on it for a second. I don't want to move on without saying Angel Reese's name. For the Juju Watkins, for the Candace, all the women I just mentioned in college basketball, or the former college, all the women I just mentioned, when they're playing college ball, they're probably making more money in college than they would be making in the WNBA. So it's not really necessary. I don't really feel bad about, like, I brought that up to say I was expecting her to go pro, but my brother was like, nah, she probably gonna stay in college, bro. Like, she really don't have there's no rush to get to the WNBA like there is in the NBA. And then at the same time, she has an opportunity to stay in college. My brother didn't say this. This is what I was thinking after he mentioned staying in college. Staying in college, she has the opportunity to either break and or set a bunch of records that could arguably never be touched again, because I don't anticipate another woman basketball player coming along being as talented and as gifted and as good as she is. And so while she is in college and is this good, she has an opportunity to set crazy records that would take years to be broken if they ever were broken. So, man, just real unfortunate news hearing about Juju Watkins, man. Big fan of hers. Actually got a chance to see her play in person one time, maybe like 3 years ago. 3 years ago, she came out here to play against La Jolla Country Day, and she got busy. Actually, funny enough, she got hurt in that game. Just turned her ankle, though. Just turned her ankle. She's a trooper. She's tough. Turned her ankle bad. Hobbled over to the sideline, got some treatment. I think she got it retaped, and she went back on the court and continued to get buckets. That was her junior year. Her junior year, if I'm not mistaken. So, once again, shout out to Juju Watkins. Shout out to USC and the whole women's college basketball, man. Admittedly, this is probably because I didn't last year. I kept up with Angel Reese, and I kept up with Caitlin Clark, and I kept up with the South Carolina Gamecocks, the women's team last year. This year, I've been keeping up with the women's bracket. We're in March here, clearly. I've been keeping up with the women's bracket much more than I've been keeping up with the men's bracket, like much more. And it's been exciting. It's been exciting. So, just shout out to, women's college basketball and everything that they've been doing. Just women's basketball as a whole, just moving your game forward. Just, salute and shout out to all of y'all. As far as, big topics, sports, and anything that's going on, like publicly or on the timeline, that was really all I had, honestly. That was really all I had. I had a couple questions. And again, I planned on being in here sitting with at least one other person and asking a question and having a back and forth dialogue. But I feel like I can attempt some of these just by myself and just give my opinion on it, by myself. One of the things I wanted to speak on, I wanted to talk about, because someone asked me about it. It was a random question. I was like, you know what, I'm bringing that to my podcast. So when you're making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, do you spread the peanut butter first or do you spread the jelly first, was the question I was asked to me. I think it's a fair question. I don't think it really, some questions you ask and it kind of depending on the answer, kind of gives you like an insight into the person and their psyche and the way they're thinking. I'm not sure if that question does that. It doesn't do that for me, depending on how the person acts. It doesn't do that for me. But if it does it for you, that's fine. Chime in, let me know. But for me, I spread the jelly first, but that's only because it's easier to rinse the butter knife off. It's easier to rinse jelly off of butter knife than it is peanut butter. I put the peanut butter and jelly on different slices of bread. So I spread the jelly first, and I turn on the water, hold the knife under there, rinse off all the jelly, quick paper towel, whoosh, dry it off, and I spread the peanut butter, and I put it together and I eat it like that. Sometimes I slice bananas and throw it in my PB&J. But yeah, I spread the jelly first, but that's because it's just easy to rinse off the knife. I asked my little brother, he said he spreads I say little, dude is bigger than me. He's 3 years young, he's 33, dude is bigger than me, my younger brother. He said he spreads the peanut butter first because it's easier to spread the jelly over the peanut butter, which makes perfect sense. As a kid, I did. As a kid, I did it that way. I don't know when it changed or why it changed, but I haven't made a sandwich that way in years, over a decade, for sure. Oh, maybe over two. No, I'm sounding old now. I mean, 2 decades is 20 years, and I'm 36. So maybe since I've been 16, maybe. I'm not sure, but yeah, I spread the jelly first and on one slice of bread, then I put the peanut butter on a separate slice, and I put them together. If I do put the banana slices on there, I put the banana slices on the peanut butter, because you could just drop them on there and they stick to the peanut butter. And you just grab the jelly, put that on top, and then I slice it in half diagonally. I'm one of them people, I legitimately feel like whether it's a turkey and cheese or PB&J or a BLT burgers, I slice it straight down into a circle. I slice it straight down the middle. But if it's like a slice of bread, any sandwich, I'm slicing it diagonally, and I feel like it tastes better when you do that. I do. I feel like a sandwich tastes better. Obviously it doesn't, but I feel like it does. You know what? I feel like it does. Forget that. A sandwich tastes better when you slice it diagonally. And then also, any sandwich with meat, pause. If there's turkey, ham, whatever it is, I do not even want to eat a sandwich if it doesn't have chips on it. Like, I need that crunch. Preferably hot chips, like some spicier nacho Doritos or the salsa verde Doritos or some flaming hot Lay's. I could do barbecue. Barbecue is not spicy. I could do barbecue if I don't have spicy. Barbecue is just fine, but I prefer spicy. But even if there's no real flavor like that, I need Lay's. Even if it's just Lay's, I need that crunch on my sandwich. I don't know what it is. I don't know how. I don't even enjoy it the same. Of course, I'm going to still be satisfied. I'm not going to be hungry anymore. But I don't enjoy it the same way if the crunch ain't in there, man. I need the crunch. I need the chips in my sandwich. I have to. Y'all let me know if y'all feel the same way. What else I got here? This is more of a, you know what? I'm probably going to ask this when I have co-hosts back in here with me. But since I have it on my list, we can go ahead and, you know what? Before I get to that, and I may not get to that because I do want to talk to somebody about that. I wanted to ask this. Well, I have no one to ask. Where is the correct place to get your news these days? Because I've been in 2 debates now. I still disagree with these people that have said it, but now 2 people have said it, which gives it slightly more validity than just one person saying it. So we're having a politics conversation, and we're having a politics debate, and I'm asked, where am I getting my news from? And I say CNN and Fox News. And I get laughed out the building. It's like, oh man, I can't even take you serious. But you just say CNN and Fox News, I can't even take you serious. I'm like, well, I mean, why is that? Why are those not reputable places? Like, now, I understand that CNN is definitely more Democrat leaning, and Fox News is more Republican leaning. I understand that. But I'm someone that watches both. Not like religiously, but whenever I feel the need to be more tapped into what's going on in our country, and more specifically with politics, I look at CNN first, just because, I'm, conditioned to do that. My parents have, I don't know if they still, I don't think my mom considers herself a Democrat anymore. But my parents, all my life, my parents were Democrats. When I first started voting, I considered myself a Democrat. I don't anymore. I don't have allegiance or claim any political party. I look at the candidates and see what they're talking about and determine who I'm going to vote based on the things they say, not necessarily on the party that they claim. But I do recognize that we do have 2 parties that dominate all the politics and the talking points here in our country. And both of them essentially have a radio station, have a news station, a news network that, broadcast their news and their talking points and their policies and politics. And so I think it's only fair to consume a little bit of both. Now, depending on what side you're on, you're probably going to, hold on. Okay, sorry. Thought my camera wasn't on. Now, depending on what side you're on, you're probably, for someone like me, okay, like, so what I'm trying to say is, if I were a Democrat but trying to hear the whole scope of things, I'm probably going to watch CNN more than I watch Fox News. And which is actually true for me. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not loyal to the Democratic Party, but I do watch CNN more than I watch Fox News, but I do turn on Fox News because I don't want to watch CNN and hear something about the other side and just take it at face value and just believe it. So I'll go and watch Fox News, and I'll hear the things that they're saying about the other side, and I'll be like, oh, well, I just heard them say this. So is that really true? Oh, you know what? I didn't fully believe the thing that what the Democrats said or whatever somebody said on CNN. So, and then the person on Fox News had a rebut to exactly what I was like, I don't know if that's true. So I feel like it balances it out. And then also, I'm someone that regardless of what network I'm watching, or regardless of what person or talking head that I'm watching speak, if I hear something that I think is a little fishy, or something that I think, you know what, that sounds like dead on, that's anything I hear that I feel like I need to give like some further thought to, I pull it up and look it up for myself. I never watch anybody on TV and just take it at face value, just like, oh, they said it on the news, and so it's true. Like, no, I'd listen for understanding, I listen to be informed, and then I go and I do my due diligence on what I just heard. Now, a lot of time on both networks, they'll tell you where they got this report from, whether it's the Associated Press or what have you, and you're able to go and vet that. You go and look at the Associated Press, and you can go and look at other websites to kind of substantiate what these people have been saying and what you feel like you might be believing or not be believing. You know what I mean? So I wanted to ask that, and I wanted to, bring that, make that a part of the conversation. Like, where should you be getting your news from? Because I know people that get all of their news from the timeline. People that legitimately get all of their news from Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not mad at that, because there's so many places and so many ways and so many opportunities to get information these days. So it's like, I feel like, how could you like feel a way about anybody about where they get their information? Now, if it's just, if I decided tomorrow to start a political blog or a political website, and I opened it tomorrow, and people were coming to my website to get their political news, and they just ran with that, like, that's wrong. Like, you shouldn't do that. For example, you shouldn't do things like that. You should be looking for respected and reputable, outlets to get your news from, and I feel like I do that. And so to be like, oh, this nigga listen to Fox News, this nigga listen to CNN, it's like, yeah, okay, like, that's not so wrong. I'm not saying everything they say is dead on the truth or everything they say is absolutely right, but I feel like it's a fair place to start, no? Like, I understand. You can't trust anything you see. You can't trust anything you hear. But that's why I said I listen to understand, I listen to be informed, and then I go and do my research on what I heard. So y'all let me know where y'all think is appropriate or a correct place to get your news from these days. Because I after that, I'm like, maybe I'm wrong. And you know what? I'm someone that goes into things doing that. A lot of the time, whether it's if it's a debate, I feel like I'm right, because I try not to debate unless I'm informed on whatever I'm talking about. And so if I'm debating, I feel like I'm right. But even within the debate, I still approach it listening to understand, not to reply. I listen to understand. Even if I think you're dead wrong, I'm going to listen to what you're saying to see if what you're saying, I don't want to say has enough validity to change my mind. I guess what I'm saying, if it makes enough sense to me to change my mind, or at least to alter my thinking or move slightly away from the point that I've landed on. I do that. And I feel like everyone should, even though most people don't. And I'm not saying it makes me better than anyone. I just think that that's the way we should approach debates and conversations. Like, yeah, like, you should enter a debate or a conversation feeling like and believing that you're right. But I don't think we should dig our heels in so much to where we're not budging on how we think and feel, and nobody can change our mind. I think that's both immature and narrow-minded. I think it's both immature and narrow-minded to your mind can't be changed and you're always right. Like, I don't know. Like, no one's always right. So yeah, we should all be trying to hear the other side. Even if your mind isn't going to change, you should at least approach it with a listening ear, is I guess what I'm trying to say here. Is this going to be my last topic before I get out of here? It is. It is. And this is the one that I was thinking I'm gonna run this one back when I have somebody to ask about, when I have co-hosts here. I'm gonna run this one back. But I wanted to ask, is it a bad thing to be jealous? Is it a bad thing to be jealous? Off the top, I want to say yes. You know what? When I wrote this down and knew I wanted to talk about it, I Googled the definition of jealous and I screenshotted it. So let's pull that up now. Jealous. Feeling or showing envy of someone or their achievements and advantages. Feeling or showing suspicion of someone's unfaithfulness in a relationship. So we're not talking about that one. Okay, to be clear. I'm not talking about jealous in a relationship. I mean like jealous of like you tried out for a team and you've been working hard, you're trying to win the starting job, and someone else beats you out for the job and you're jealous that he gets to start and you don't. Is it okay to be jealous in that way? Or your parents never have money for the new shoes and every other month it's a dude pulling up with the new Jordans. Is it okay to be jealous of that? Off the top, I want to say that is wrong. It's wrong to be jealous of someone. But I think it's only wrong if your jealousy invokes negative behavior in you. If I'm jealous that my teammate is the starting point guard over me, and I'm jealous and I want that, my jealousy should fuel me to work hard, bust his ass in practice every day, go home and shoot jumpers on my own court, go home and get work on my handle on my own time, hire a trainer, have my brother and my dad come rebound for me. I feel like your jealousy should motivate you to work, to win over or achieve whatever you're jealous of. So in that sense, no, I don't think it's wrong to be jealous. Now, if your jealousy causes you to behave a certain way to the starting point guard or to the kid that gets all the new shoes, then it's wrong. If if he's a starting point guard now and you're purposely trying to injure him in practice so you can start, or let's say, for example, the coach says, y'all got a curfew, and the starting point guard breaks curfew. The coach has a curfew rule that if you break curfew, you don't get to start. And you know that he broke curfew, and you go and tell the coach that he broke curfew so that you can start. That's not cool. That's not cool. I mean, it's snitching, it's tattletelling, and that's never cool. But just like even if you're jealous of the kid that gets all the new shoes, and that jealousy causes you to go out and steal from someone or harm something or someone to get the money for the shoes, then yeah, that's wrong, obviously. So I think it's wrong to be jealous if your jealousy causes you to be negative or step outside of yourself and what you would normally and typically do. That's what I think about jealousy. Because I've felt jealousy a lot of times in my life for various different reasons. When I first became I don't want to say when I first became a photographer, but when I first, when I started to feel like I was beginning to arrive as a photographer, and I was seeing photographers get opportunities that I wasn't getting, or getting booked for things that I wasn't getting booked for, I was jealous. I'm like, then why they getting that and I'm not? Like, I want that. I want to be at them games. I want to be at those type of events. I want to shoot that type of content. I want to have those types of clients. It didn't make me start bad mouthing these photographers. It didn't cause me to try to sabotage what they're doing or try to push up on their clients or impede on what they were doing. I said, I want opportunities like that. I need to work harder. And I started working harder, and I started getting those opportunities. Now, some of those opportunities still haven't come, but that doesn't mean that I hate on the people that are getting those opportunities, or I try to diminish their accomplishments and achievements. No, they're getting what they're supposed to get in their time, and I'm getting what I'm supposed to get in my time. Maybe it's just not time for me to get those things yet. Maybe I'll never get those things. Maybe those things are just not for me. Who knows? Time will tell. But I think being jealous to the point where it causes you to do something, or if it causes you to do something negative, or if it causes you to think negative for too long of a time, like a consistent thing of thinking negatively about a thing or a person based on your jealousy, I also think is wrong. I also think the initial thought of it honestly is wrong too. Because let's say you see someone that receives an opportunity that you think they don't deserve. You think you work harder or that you're better. And not even that you think it, you know it for a fact. You can pull it up on a spreadsheet and show me why you deserve it more, why you're better, and why you would do the job better, why you perform better in that role. Too bad. Too bad. You weren't the one that ended up in that seat. You weren't the one that ended up with that role. So what? If that opportunity is not coming for you, go create the opportunity. If you can't create the opportunity and it's burning you up that much to where you can't get it and you can't create it, and it's burning you up that much that it's making you think negative thoughts and you want to do something negative, or you're having a consistent negative thought about this person that did nothing to you, they're just succeeding and getting what they're supposed to get, then maybe this space isn't for you. Maybe you should go find the space that you can excel and you can achieve the things, you can achieve great heights to where you don't have to look down on nobody. But I will say, though, that by switching the industry or switching the field to where you can succeed so that you don't have to think negatively, I don't think that's really taken away, that's not erasing the problem here. The problem is the mental. The problem is the mental, because if you're succeeding now and you're at the top of the food chain and you're doing great things and now you're happy, I think it's a little bit superficial. Everyone's going to be happy about winning and achieving it and pushing forward, but if you can't find a way to be happy in the journey, then I don't think that space is for you, that job is for you, that industry is for you. While trying to win the starting job, if you don't fall in love with the ball handling, with practicing your handle, if you don't fall in love with hitting the weights and getting jump shots up, then maybe this just isn't for you. Like for me as a podcaster, if I don't enjoy coming in here and setting up my studio and setting up my 3 cameras and lights and getting my couches and everything in position, if I don't enjoy this part of it, if all I'm thinking about is what other podcasters are doing and achieving and who they have on their shows and what they're getting as opposed to what I'm getting, then this isn't the space for me. I don't look at other people and say, oh, they getting this, and like when I see other people doing big things that I haven't had a chance to do yet, I think like, dang, they doing it. And like, man, I can't wait for my opportunity. Like, there's a small part of me that I'm like, dang, I wish I was doing that. Not even a small part. There's a part of me that's like, I wish I was doing that too. But it doesn't make me, there's never a time when I'm like, they don't deserve that or they shouldn't have that. I have times when I think I'm better than them. So I think if it is someone that I'm better than, and there's a lot of podcasters that I think I'm better than, especially in the city, just admittedly. I think a lot of people are dope. I'm not saying to say that I'm better than you, that you're whack. I just think that I'm better than a lot of people at this. But even in that, I never, even if I look at someone and I think that I'm better, if there's a podcaster or broadcaster or a podcast in and of itself that has more views than mine or is getting guests that I don't have access to, I look at it as when I'm able to do those things, I'm going to go crazy because I know that I'm dope in this space. I know I'm good on the microphone. I know I'm good on camera. I know I have a great POV. I know I'm good at this. So my brain goes to, there's just a couple of things that I need to figure out to make this incline a little bit more drastic. I never look at the next person and think, because I'm better than them, that they shouldn't have that. They're getting what they're supposed to get. And at this current moment, I'm getting what I'm supposed to get. Maybe if you're not getting everything that you think you should get or everything that you think you deserve, maybe you haven't put the work in for it yet. Maybe you just haven't put the work in yet. Or if you have been working, maybe you just don't deserve it. Could be one of the two. Sometimes we get what we work for. Before that, sometimes we get what we deserve, and sometimes we get what we work for. Maybe you don't deserve it. Maybe you're not as dope as you think you are. Maybe you out here pump faking. Maybe you're out here doing what you say you're doing, and you are, to the people. But maybe your ego is so busy making it look like it's something that it's not, that you haven't achieved what you could achieve. Because your ego's in the way. Maybe it's that. Maybe if you put your ego to the side and just be a genuine person and create genuine connections, maybe you would achieve the things that you want, and your life would look the way you want it to look, and you'd really be doing all the things that you claim to be doing. Maybe, but who am I? Who am I? I'm just someone that, creates the things that I want to see in the world. I do the things that I want to do, and I just try to create dope content. And I stay out the way. Like, I don't bother nobody. I just push forward and try to do dope things, man. That's pretty much it. That's all it really is to me. I push forward. I work hard. I keep my head down. I don't bother anyone. I truly don't bother anyone. That's really a big reason why when people bother me and start with me, that's why I'm down to get as petty as they want to get. And, I don't want to say take it to where they want to take it, because I don't want to take it everywhere that everybody wants to take it, but I'm down to take it a few of them places. And so when someone starts with me and I haven't bothered them, then that's when it's like, okay, it's time to take it there. But I'm getting dangerously close to talking about something that I do not want to talk about. So I'm going to leave that alone. So I'm going to end this episode with saying, I'm happy. I'm happy to be back in my studio. I'm happy to be back in Flix Media Studios. Happy to be back filming the Ain't Got It Yet podcast. And I've said it several times. You know what? I've said it several times, but I've never meant it more than I mean it right now. This show is not taking any more breaks. Every time we come back, I'm like, are we going to try to keep it consistent for y'all? There's no more trying. This show is going to be a consistent show moving forward. I wanted to make that very clear for all the people that support the Ain't Got It Yet podcast, for all the people that support Flix Media Network, for all the people that support me individually, who everybody supports Michael Flix. No more breaks. Broadcasting, podcasting is a passion of mine. It's something that I love, and it's something that I've admittedly let a lot of excuses get in the way of me coming in here and filming a podcast. Those days are done. No more excuses. No more getting overly frustrated with things. I don't need nobody but me in here. I'd much rather have my co-hosts in here, but All I need is a camera, a microphone, and a place to sit down. And we gonna make it shake. And we have much more than that. Plenty of cameras. Plenty of microphones. Flix Media Studios. So we gonna make it shake. To all the people that's been tapping in, asking me where the podcast has been, what's the hold up? I've been very transparent about where I've been and what the hold up has been. And I appreciate everybody that continues to ask me. It was like, bro, whenever you drop, I'm gonna be there. Like, I'm just ready for it to come back. That's why I'm asking. I just miss watching the show. Thank you. I appreciate you. No more missing. No more missing. Whether I gotta come in here by myself or I gotta call some random friends to come in here and sit and talk with me and I gotta coach them up on how to podcast for 30 minutes before we get in here and do the show. That's what will happen. No more breaks. No more breaks. No more breaks. It's been another episode of the Ain't Got It Yet podcast, episode number 77. I'm Michael Flix. Till next time, take care.